There you go. Hello everybody, it's me, Manic coming from the bunker system. It's a super awesome day. I went to look for records, and I went to this place that my picker friend Liz said go here. It was in Lawrenceburg. It's quite a drive, but I went there, and it was weird. It was a weird place because it was kind of like your typical collectibles antique store, you know what I'm saying, with booze in it, like little areas where people would bring stuff in on a consignment. But the place was a total wreck. Some booze had stickers, some didn't. Stuff was piled up just all over the place. I couldn't figure out exactly what the hell was going on and how they were figuring anything out. And I don't think they were. I don't know if whoever owned the place maybe had a few places, maybe just the places, I don't know. They had stuff everywhere, and then some people had stuff with stickers. I just wanted to say, you know, when you go into these places, they always have the most antique stores, collectible stores. They always have the most shelf-worn records. The records you don't really want, ever, in your collection. Totally disorganized in almost everyone I've ever been into, and the highest prices. I did find a few, but I had to spend some time digging. And while I was there was big excitement, because apparently there's a prison somewhere around there, and one of the bad people got out, and they were looking for him, and I went to pay for my records, and they couldn't find the change, because they'd hid it from the escapee, the prisoner. They said they've never seen so many police cars all over. I saw one, I don't know. They said the city was locked down, and they finally found the change, and they were able to break the 20 I gave for these records. And I got out of the city. I avoided any roadblocks. I avoided somehow. Okay, so then I'm driving to the other record store, and there's a super awesome accident on the other side of the freeway. I know this is not good. There's a helicopter on the freeway. Every fire truck in the whole 3-county area is there. All these firemen standing around looking. This is not, even though it's not on my side of the freeway and not really impeding my progress, I know it will on the way back, because the way you have to drive around here, you don't have many options to get to certain areas. And I knew I was going to have to kind of go back. So I went back to secret back roads, and even they were so loaded up after I'd spent like time looking for, you're just complaining. It's my video, it's okay. They were backed up. They were super awesomely backed up on a very super awesome hot day. Okay, now let's get to the super awesome records. I have no idea. It seems like I've owned this one before. I know I went to Half Price Books, and I had to be very careful not to buy records back that they'd given me a quarter for. It's some kind of private press out of Vancouver, Canada, or Seattle, Washington. It's manufactured in Vancouver. I have no idea. Another Ramsey Lewis album. Why Ramsey? 50 cents, all the 50 cents today, except for the $3 records at the antique store. Because if it's in an antique store, it has to be more valuable. I don't have that Ramsey Lewis cover. That's kind of cool, Sun Goddess. I like that one. This was 50 cents. Love's Greatest Songs by Bob Keynes. Bob Keynes played the organ. Why did you buy something that's going to be obviously not very good? There's Bob Keynes in the back. Why? Because not only does he play organ interpretations of the great love songs, it's also spoken word. Can you imagine organ with spoken word by Bob Keynes? That could be super awesome. Here's a super awesome cover. Late London. It's a collection of guys playing stuff at London night spots, probably from the late 50s would be my guess. Now on to the expensive records that I found at the junky antique store. This is some kind of bizarre private press that looks pretty bad. I don't even know if the front side one's going to play, because there's a super awesome scratch in it. To bring jazz back to rural America. He wants to bring jazz back to the country. Damn, I was just listening to that country record, and I got a hankering for some fusion jazz. Some private press fusion jazz. I'm not going to go into who he is again because I just went into who he is once before. This may have one or two good songs on it. I had to pay $3 a piece for these, but it has a Spy cover on it. It's the Mexicali Brass doing Thunderball, but there is a nice Thompson with a drum magazine. That's a real one right on the front of that Crown Records deal. The cover's got a seam split in it I don't like. But that doesn't matter. This was fun. Mission Impossible and other action themes. I don't really care, but it was a clean copy. I don't know. I just picked it up. What the hell? Go on. And while I was there from 1956, it's Eartha Kitt, Thursday's Child. Wow, I was at the antique store. I did find a valuable treasure, valuable for me because I bought it, I got a copy of this and I blogged it, and then all of a sudden all these people are like, hey, post the whole record, just not a sample, because that's awesome and you can't find it anywhere. Apparently this is really obscure and it's really great space age pop, okay? Thunderball happens to be on this, so maybe I'll post a sample from this. I blogged the whole record. I posted the whole record. Maybe I'll just put a link to it and you can go there and listen to it. It's awesome. It's super awesome. So you can tell when I walked in the door, that's when the whole thing happened. And that's when they were driving around, and the people that ran the thing, like, where'd you get that Jeep? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? The Jeep in the park? Yeah, where'd you get it? I owned it since it was new. Oh, that's okay. It's nice. And I finally figured out then, when they told me about the escapee of the bad person, I realized that they were like worried that maybe I was the bad person. They were like, who would ever rob this place? You know, I'm like looking around thinking, I would like the gate in the back. You know, there was a vintage gate that I could use, but I wouldn't want to take it at gunpoint. You know what I'm saying? So you're walking down the street with the vintage gate, you kind of stand out, worse than if you're wearing a striped jumpsuit from the county correctional facility. I was sitting outside of a county correctional facility a while back, and a guy comes out, and he's got a very he's got a colorful spider tattoo on his neck. It's rather large, it's colorful, and he's very gregarious. He's like, oh man, this is the first time I've seen sunlight in 4 years. And he's looking for a cigarette to smoke, and he pulls one out of the... Like, he had to probably give up cigarettes when he was in there, so why would you start smoking again? See, this is the thing. People never learn their lessons. So he gets a cigarette butt out of the trash, and he smokes a little. He doesn't like that. And he's talking to me, and he said, oh, my cell phone still has a charge in it. So what is he saying? He hasn't seen sunlight in 4 years when his cell phone still has a charge in it. I have no idea. Anyway, so he talks to me for a while, and he says, well, when did you get out? And I looked at him and said, I'm here waiting on somebody. And then he doesn't know who he's talking to, you know what I'm saying? He could be talking to the man. So he's like, oh, okay, I gotta go. And he just runs away. I look like a criminal? Who, me? I didn't have a tan or anything. It's possible that I hadn't seen the sun in quite some time. I figure if there's people as friendly as this guy in the county detention facility, then how bad could it be to go in there and just visit with some people, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and then I went to get in the car, and my car, I wasn't stealing a car, because it's the county, why would you steal a car there? I wouldn't do it anyway. Then there were the Jesus people. They were standing there, and they were like, all pumped up on Jesus, because they had been in there, and they were like, saying, what you got to do with prisoners, and what you got to do with, and the reason we're here is to give them a little hope. That's the reason. But don't give them your name, your address or phone number. They're going to try to get that out of you and come to your house and kill you. They wanted the other people that were there full of the Spirit to be, you know, kind of careful, not to put their faith in anything like a prisoner. That would not be a good idea. Now it's time for the